Alright, hello everyone. Hey Angela, how you doing? Good to see you. And yeah, just a minute here, I'm gonna get started. Okay. Well, today's gonna be just more of the same old, the past few streams. Well, probably past 5 to 7 streams, more like it. Working back here. Actually, real fast, I'm going to, I think, turn the music down just a little bit. That's probably a little bit better. Okay. Alright, so yeah, I'm doing some more work back here, and I actually did some stuff off camera. For anyone who's really astutely paying attention. Let me see what... These two buildings I added in yesterday. I lengthened this piece. And I added in all these overhead pipes that would take stuff out of the cars. Now, these are not present in the movie, to my knowledge. I just added these in myself. Sort of as, I don't know, just a little detail piece to add back here. I think it looks cool. It's just pipes with little hoppers that would be over top of the tanker cars here that would either put stuff into them or suck stuff out and then send them off into this building, and then from here, you know, it goes to other areas. And this actually brings me to, I think, the first thing that I want to do is, so I had an opportunity to look at some other pictures I have that aren't exactly this exact picture that I'm showing, and it's a little bit clearer of a picture, although it's more zoomed in. That's why I don't have it here on in my OBS. But there actually is a little building right here that sort of connects to this thing, which also, you know, connects to this building, so it kind of connects this whole complex together. So I still have some more work to do, but that's what all these little conveyor belts and pipes, everything is going to be connected. So I still need to add some stuff connecting these two and then also to this. So the idea is that no matter where a train car gets loaded or unloaded, it can move to anywhere in this complex, as well as to anywhere in the factory. So like if, you know, these buildings, like right here, you know, if the car gets unloaded inside of here, it'll come through this building, go into here, then off into these pipes into the factory itself. So it's all kind of that thing. I mean, just kind of adding a little bit, I guess, a little bit of story, I guess you could say. So yeah, after some more, I did a little bit of digging. I was able to find out that this building isn't exactly correct to how it is in the film, but because it is so hardly seen, I really just don't care. And I already kind of redid part of this once, I think on the last stream I did, or maybe the one before that, and I really don't want to redo it again, so... if I wanted it to be truly accurate, it actually would extend out into another little section, like right here, and the train tracks would actually be going into that section, and this section right here would have, looks like about 6 pipes that come out and then go into the ground, very similar to this right here. So that's what should really be here. So basically this whole building should just be wider to fit all of that in, and I just don't want to do that, so... Now, so another thing is probably kind of obvious is you can see that these two buildings are exactly the same. There's no picture showing these buildings to my knowledge. I completely just realized my mic was all the way over there. I'm sorry about that. Probably had really crappy audio. Okay, hopefully that's a little bit better. I completely blanked and forgot to move my mic over to where it should normally be. Okay. Anyway. I'm not going to say everything I just said again, but essentially I arbitrarily placed these buildings in here. And I'm probably going to add in a few more, like right here. I'm not going to add any more that way. And then that'll pretty much just fill the whole thing out. But first things first, I want to add this little building in right here. So this is going to be real simple. It's just going to be a square. Now what I'm going to do is, so this actually is sort of represented by this picture. So I'll leave that up there for a few minutes. I'm kind of changing it a little bit. So I'm essentially doing my own design here. Oh, as much of my own design as possible. This is still just a box. Okay, so I'm actually gonna extend this part. I guess this is actually a little bit bigger than just a little building. This is a pretty large part in hindsight here, so. But that's okay because it actually makes this long skinny building look a little bit better, I think. It kind of looks a little goofy just being this like so narrow. So the fact that this is supposed to be added onto the side of it on this back half here, I think will make this look a little bit better. So these windows and everything are gonna get covered up back here, but I don't really care. And let's see, how wide is this? 14. Yeah, we'll do that. I do hope to finally be done with this whole project here, the exterior expansion. Let's see, today's Wednesday. I do hope to have this done by the end of the weekend. I just realized this isn't supposed to go all the way back. Made a mistake there. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to being done with this whole thing so I can start working on other stuff. I have a whole spreadsheet document actually of like full of projects to be worked on. So there's a lot of them. So it's kind of nice because I can just kind of pick and choose what I want to work on. Previously, I never really had a way of keeping track of everything. I just kind of would keep it in my head and try not to forget stuff. But now that I have it pretty much all written down, it'll allow me to more easily go between projects. Hey Dog Toy, how you doing? I'm doing pretty good. How are you? But yeah, it'll allow me to more easily go between projects instead of just hyper fixating on one thing. But you know, that's generally still how I like to build, just regardless, is I like to, when I start something, I like to just finish it before I move on to something completely. But it'll allow me to have a little bit more variation. In what I'm working on at one given time. So what I'm doing here is I want to get this profile how I want it to look. Because this part of the building is going to remain on stilts like this, but this part is not. So I want to make sure it looks good. This building being here will also be nice for the fact that it adds more depth, so you can't just see through to the back right there. The last step for me to do is to continue the factory wall, if you want to call it. Another gate will be right there, just like the front gate. And then per this picture, this one kind of doesn't show it too well, but I have another more zoomed in picture that shows it. It comes down this way, and then it curls in right by this track, and then it just kind of stops right here. So the wall doesn't go across the track. So I'm going to do the same thing. However, I am going to have to do something for when the map download goes out, because I don't want people just being able to walk off behind here. So the street's going to continue this way. There's going to be another gate, like I just said. And then there's going to be like a kind of like a short street of houses that go down this way. And then I'm going to put in invisible barrier blocks across the tracks back here, so you can't walk back there. And then on this side of the track, I will continue the wall, even though it's not there in the movie. I'm going to continue the wall back this way behind these last buildings. And then it'll kind of just curve in back over here by this building. Once again, there will be more invisible barriers somewhere in this area, so you can't go too far back. And then this wall will come up, and I have to look at my reference pictures again, but I believe it kind of curves back this way, and then it kind of just stops right here. I haven't built this yet, but there actually are a few little buildings that go in this area right here, and some storage tanks. So that'll probably be one of the last things I do in addition to the expanding the walls. So I probably basically my end goal is, so I'm streaming today. Today's Wednesday. I won't be able to stream Thursday or Friday. But I will have some time to stream on Saturday, which is good because that's when the most people are able to watch usually. So I'll be able to stream on Saturday, but I'm going to try to get a lot of this remaining exterior stuff done off camera over the next 2 days. Even though I can't stream, I will have some free time that I can hopefully spend trying to get this all squared away here. So then by hopefully the time I stream on Saturday, I'm either completely done with this and working on something else, or there's very little left to do, and that will be the last stream, hopefully, that is working on the exterior. Because once I'm done with this, my plan is to go back to working inside on some interior stuff, so That will be nice, I think. It'll be nice for me, one, because I'm just tired of working on the exterior. And I think it'll be nice for people watching just to work on something new. Okay, so I'm okay with how that looks. I'll probably add in a few little details back here. But I'm okay with that. It helps add a little variation to this thing like I was talking about. Okay, so now I am going to cover up these windows, actually. Yeah, we'll just do that. There we go. Let me fix this real fast. I don't know why I keep turning that off. I need to keep using it. Alright, so now that's a nice flat wall. Okay, so first let me add these stairs in just so I don't have to do it later. And I'm gonna add some pipes in up here. The absolute very last thing that has to get done is I have to put snow on top of all these roofs. But I'm not going to do that on camera to spare people from the absolute boredom that is. Alright. You know what, actually, before I cover those up, I can use this as an easy reference of where to put the pipes. Because these should be evenly spaced. Yes, they are. So let me just add that in real fast. So I know this is the center. Okay. And now I can fill those in. I should have done that first. I'll probably put a third one in the middle there, but let's see. Let me think of how high I want them up to be. I do definitely want 3 of them now that I'm thinking about this, so let's find the center. That should be it. I'm gonna make these ones a little big, I think. I don't know if I'm gonna make them that big, because that would take up a lot of space. What I'd like to do is this, but then that kind of messes everything up, especially in here, you know, because I want this space to be consistent, and it would just mess all the spacing up. So my options are to do something like this, or if I really want to make it big, I can do this, which is the size of those over there. Maybe that would actually look good, just because of how small all these pipes are on this side, and then this is like This is a really large one. Let me see what it would look like if I raise it up a little bit. Just so I have some distance to like bring it to the ground, you know? Okay. And maybe a little bit more. Yeah, not quite. I want this to come out a little bit further before it bends down, I think. Let's try 6. Yeah, I think that looks fine. Every time I do these, I have to kind of reference the one I've built before, because I want to make sure they're all consistent, you know. I don't want them all looking different if they're supposed to be the same thing. So yeah, that's how that one's supposed to be. Now it's very simple, I just cover in the holes. Missed one down here. And now it looks more like a curved pipe, at least as well as I can make it being limited to blocks. Looks better than it just being a square, a total square. Okay, now the easy part is I can just, you know, I can copy and paste that, so. Just give myself a little guide. There we go. Easy. And just something that simple makes everything look a lot better. Now, for a little bit of interest, I'm going to add in some over here. They're going to be a lot smaller, obviously. Yeah, let's do it right there. So making them smaller just seems, I don't know, more interesting to me. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. And now I'm just gonna do the same thing here. put the snow on these real fast. I always do this. I always mean to put the snow on before I copy and paste them all, so that way I only have to do it once. And I almost always forget to do that, so I have to end up doing them on all of them. Oh well. There we go. Okay, so because these pipes are up here, I don't really need to add anything other detail-wise on this wall or this wall. This wall might look good if I put something on it. Think of what I could do here. Okay, I actually want to put another one of these windows on here, but I need to make this whole wall just one block wider so I can just easily add in an extra layer of the wall here. Okay, now I can add this in where I would like it, so it can be centered now. Let's see, this is 4 blocks. Yep. It just helps make the whole thing like a little bit more consistent, like this is part of this. At least that's how it looks to me. Alright, I'm debating if I want to add anything in here. I don't think I do. I think because this wall has stuff on it, this wall now has a window. I don't want to make this look too busy, so I'm just going to leave this flat. I guess I could put a window on the back here. I never really thought about it. Although no, I can't because it's an even number, and I don't want to. I don't feel like extending this whole thing. Okay, that's fine. I'm still gonna put one on this wall though. Okay, 2 blocks down. Just making sure this is lined up. Oops. Alright, so that's, alright, that is one thing off the list now. Of stuff that needed done to finish this back area. Okay, now let me see, what else did I want to do? Oh, one of the things. These two buildings here. I'm gonna add in some more of these things. I don't really know what they are. Well, I take that back. I know what they are. In real life, these would be sort of like a conveyor belt. They're just enclosed. It's really hard to kind of model that here in Minecraft, but I think this is the best way I can represent it. They would look nicer if I was using a block that has stairs and slabs, like if I was using andesite or something. But I like the color of the light gray concrete. I really wish they would, concrete stairs and slabs is something I would like. I'm sure there's mods out there that you can do that with, but I don't really want to download a mod for that. So anyway, these are pretty easy to add in. I didn't really want these to be at the same height, and these are actually a little bit too close together for me to for it to be comfortable, because if I leave it at this height, it just looks like I messed up and didn't line them up. I want this to be like clearly at a different elevation than the other ones. So yeah, that looks a little better. Eventually, I will expand the snow backwards so you can't see that it's not snow. And then once again, once I extend the wall that encompasses the whole build back here, it'll hide it so it looks like you can't just tell there's nothing out there. I'm not gonna forget to add the snow this time before I copy it. So most of these are on some type of slant, or like this one is diagonal, or they change elevation, but for these ones I'm just gonna keep them straight, just so everything looks a little bit different from each other, so not everything is like, I don't want them all to, so I know this is going to sound contradictory to what I said, but I do want everything to be uniform, but I don't want everything to look like just a copy and paste of itself, so, like for example, all the conveyor things over here are 3 blocks wide and 2 blocks high, which I'm replicating with this one. But to make it look a little bit more interesting, I'm not copying the angle that these are built on. So, you know, it just helps. Okay, now I actually like building these things. I'm going to add the supports. Hello, Noril, or Noril. Hope I said it right, Noril. How you doing? Okay. Okay, so that's 13. I usually try to make these ones equal length, but since this is off by 1, I'll just make this one 6 blocks long, this support, And now this one right here, I'm gonna make 7. So that way it goes shortest, or so it goes longest, shorter, shortest. It's just a little more pleasing to the eye that way, in my opinion. Okay, now I'm just going to build it on this side, and then I can just copy the other ones. I'm going to put 3 of them, one underneath each window. You're finally able to get on your stream. It's nighttime for you, you usually sleep. Well, I'm glad you're able to make it. I appreciate you being able to be here and watch. And yeah, I'm trying to find like a good time to stream that allows like basically just the most amount of people to be able to watch, because for me right now it's almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I used to stream at like 12 or 1 p.m. So that's like a convenient time for me, but the flip side is almost no one is able to watch live whenever I stream at those times. So it seems like the later that I stream my time, the more people are able to watch. So that's what I've been trying to do more recently. How did I mess that up so bad? How tall is this? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so this actually was. Okay, well. Fine. All right. So actually I'm gonna have to, let's see, got a little bit wider. Make sure I get that in. There we go. Now this building over here is a little bit interesting. If anyone was really paying attention, I basically just copied this part of the building back here, and I just pasted it back here, sunk it into the ground, and made it a little bit longer. Because I was lazy, I didn't feel like coming up with a whole new design for a building that almost no one is ever going to see. And since I'm making these buildings up back here anyway, these two, I'm like, I'm not going to put in the extra effort. Okay, now, let's see. I'll do something a little bit different. I don't want to just do another one of these things that connects to this building. And I have no idea where these pipes would be going to, you know, underground to the factory, I guess, but I do want to have some above ground representation, excuse me, of these buildings being connected. So I think I'm just going to do a real small pipe. And we'll keep it lined up here. with that window. Does that actually... Okay, that kind of actually awkwardly lines up with this. Prefer that actually to be right there. Okay, I'll move them over a little bit from those windows. Now we'll do something like this. We'll bring it down. Hey Gaming Octopus, how are you? Yeah, that's fine. Spacing's a little weird, but that's whatever. I like that contrast because these pipes are really large. Those ones are so small. Alright. That's that taken care of. That's pretty much all I still needed to do with these existing buildings. Yeah. Alright, now I'm just gonna... trying to think if there's anything else that I really want to add in here before I go on to starting doing like my final detailing. And by final detailing, there's really almost nothing I have to do other than add in more train cars and eventually kind of add in like sort of like a road. Like I want to, all these areas I'm going to replace the snow, at least in the center here, with I'm going to use diorite. So it looks like cobblestone that's just covered with snow instead of just flat snow. So it actually gives the outline of a road going through all of here, which will make it look a little better. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm pretty happy with how this whole area is turning out. When I started working on this, I really wasn't looking forward to building it, but now that it's here, it's basically doubled the footprint of the factory. I actually looked yesterday. From the front gate to the back building here is about 850 blocks. So it essentially doubled the whole length of the footprint. When I'm done with my factory, what's going to happen to the YouTube channel? It's a good question. I don't really know if I have like I don't really have a grand plan. The cool thing is with this build is even after it's released, I'm probably never really gonna be like done with it. I'll probably continue adding stuff to it just for my own version here that'll be only for me. And I'll probably, you know, just record and stream that stuff like I'm doing here. So there really won't be a whole lot of difference. Another thing I want to do, once I've gotten the factory to a state that I consider to be complete for release, basically right along with me just adding in additional stuff, I also want to implement the create mod. into this build to add in like functioning machines that actually make different candies and chocolate, which I think would be pretty cool. But that will be so complicated and it would take so long that I would never think of doing that before the download is ready, because that would just take way too long. But I think it would be some interesting content that I can stream and make videos on about that. So really, there's kind of like no foreseeable endpoint to this project. It can really go on as long as I want. I mean, I still have, if I really wanted to, if I wanted to make every single room in the factory, I'd have 490 different rooms. And right now I only have 30, about 35. So if I really wanted to, I would consider this build to be almost potentially everlasting. So there's no end in sight for potential content that I could make about this. Because I don't really play Minecraft. Like, this is the only thing I play Minecraft for. Like, I don't play any other worlds. I'm not on any servers. I don't do like anything in Minecraft except work on this map. And other video games I play, I just don't really have an interest in making content on me playing other games, you know? Like, so this channel is pretty much all this channel will ever be, is about this build. Okay. Alright, so I think what actually would be kind of interesting is if I do start putting in this kind of like cobblestone path. But first, I need to pull up a different picture on my monitor. Okay. So I'm not going to be able to have it like displayed on the stream right now just because it's kind of annoying to add it into OBS. But you'll get, as soon as I start working on it, I think it'll be pretty obvious what I'm doing. So I'm just going to make the outline here. And I'm pretty much just copying a picture I'm looking at as best I can. Okay, so there's like more snow between them here. Maybe not that much. Maybe 5 blocks. And now this comes down. Let's see. On the set, they kind of just like ended this road kind of like arbitrarily right about here. So I'll do the same. And then I'll blend it in to the snow a little bit. It's kind of hard for me to explain it without me just doing it. So I'll do that here in a minute. Okay, and I want that the same. I could add texturing. Yeah, I definitely could. For this build though, that's something that I'm not going to do. Just because in the movie, the factory is a very consistent, you know, like, it's a very consistent color and a very consistent texture. So I'm not gonna add a bunch of texturing. Because it wouldn't be true to the movie, in my opinion, if I did that. But if it was basically any other build, like at all, yeah, I would texture it. Okay, now this gap here needs to be even bigger. Alright, so now I can just mark this area out. These curves, like these hard edges, are going to be curves, so after I add it all in, I'll go back and smooth the whole thing out. Whoops, I knew I was gonna do that. Now this whole thing I would actually love. It actually should be a bit of a darker color now that I'm looking at it. But I still need to have a hint of snow in there. So I think I'm gonna have to just live with the diorite. There's not really anything else that would look as good. Yeah. But actually here, something I didn't think of. This is a little bit too wide. I want this to be the same. This is like more the width I want. So how wide is this? So from here on needs to be snow. Looks a little bit better there. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna smooth out the edge a little bit. Doesn't need to be anything too crazy. This is a pretty sharp corner. Yeah, that's good enough for me. here, I'm just gonna kind of randomly add some snow in. And then back here, just sort of add in some cobble. So it looks like this area just hasn't been plowed yet, because that's how it looks in the picture I'm looking at. Now that I'm looking at it, I want to add a little bit more snow so it just doesn't look... Let's see. Yeah, that's a little bit better there. Alright, so that's one thing done. Now, there is a whole road that basically goes all the way down, comes down this way, and then turns behind this building right here. But I actually can't do that yet because something I need to do, in fact, maybe I can just do this now actually. Do I have it on this picture? No. Okay. There's basically a whole row of buildings, skinny buildings, that runs the whole length of the wall back here. And then the road goes in front of those. Basically, they're exactly the same as this. Realistically, the ones over here are probably a little bit different. But because there's almost no good shot of them in the movie, I'm going to just copy these. I'm going to modify them a little bit, but you'll kind of see that after I do it. Okay. So I'm going to just copy this and paste it over, or what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, paste it like somewhere over there, or maybe I'll just actually put it in its spot. I'm going to modify it to how I want, and then after I modify it, I will copy that and just paste that down. I think that'll be the easiest way to do this. So like the biggest thing that'll change is I'm going to take the Wonka off of here whenever I put it over there. And there's also another row of these that'll be going on that side as well. Okay. To my knowledge, from what I can actually see, these buildings on the part over here does not have this little deck part, so I'm not going to copy that in. I do want, however, the little rain gutter downspout details. So make sure I get that, and then let's see, I need to come out to there, I think. Back doesn't really matter because I'm just going to be filling this whole thing in. There's not going to be any doors in the back, obviously, because it's going to be facing against this wall. So I'm not too worried about that. I'm just going to cover that up anyway. Okay, I think that's what I want. Let me put it in here. Okay, no. For me to do this correctly, I need to just give myself some space to build it out here, so. What I want to do is What do I want to do? So like I can very vaguely see the front of these things in this picture I'm looking at. It's like at an awful angle though. Really, it almost kind of looks like it just sits on the ground like this. Oh yeah, I forgot. I guess these buildings will have an interior because this is the interior of the one out front, so I guess that's a little neat. I'm worried that that's too low to the ground though. So let me think here. This would be 9 blocks taller than the wall. I guess that's actually pretty good. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we would see like this part of the roof. But what I think I'm gonna do is I think I'm still gonna make it a little bit taller. Just by like 2 blocks though. So raise that up, and now I'll just fill in this empty space down here. First, let me get rid of all this snow. And then I'll touch this all up. Because I really didn't want that deck that is on the front of this on the one that I just copied it from. And then the door, I guess, can just extend down. I'm just gonna come do all the doors at one time after I finish extending this, and then I'll at the end I'll go back and extend the downspouts as well. What's so nice about Axiom is if you're just copying and pasting everything, you know, you can just build one of them to perfection. And then once you get it 100% complete, you know, you can just copy and paste it instead of having to do, you know, a bunch of stuff by building the same thing over and over again, making sure they're all exactly the same, and it's really useful. So yeah. Okay, now what I want to do here, because this is going to be flat up against the wall, I'm actually going to get rid of all these design pieces on this side. So that, let me make sure I do this right. So this is all going to get removed right here. And now I'm gonna fill the doors in too, like I mentioned a few minutes ago, by doing this. And this little design can stay in up here. That makes it look a little bit nicer. Nice. Now let's go do this real quick. And lastly, the doors. Now, let's see, I gotta remove the letters, and then this will pretty much be good to go, I think. There's really not anything else that I want to add to this, I don't think. Before I copy and paste it though, I need to get the site ready. And to do that, I'm actually going to remove this detail on the interior. You just reached 50 subscribers? Congratulations, my friend. Congratulations. You know what? Actually, I don't need to delete this. I can just copy and paste the building in and it'll automatically delete it. Oh, I forgot this big giant circle was even out here. Before I forget, let me just remove that real quick. Okay. Now this should be ready. Let me just do one more look over and make sure everything is right, because I'm going to be putting a bunch of these in here. I don't want to go back and fix all of these one by one. Okay, so I already noticed something that's wrong. I'm glad I did that. I want to extend this out by a block so that the ends match, so everything lines up better. Let's see. Sort of like that. Let me go check the end here. You're in a race with your friend he has 300, trying to beat him. YouTube is funny in how, like, the algorithm works, you know, with getting views and whatnot. Like, just kind of randomly, I, like, got, you know, my channel is not, you know, a very big channel by any means, but I've gotten, like, almost 20 subscribers over the last, like, 2 weeks. So, hey, anything can happen, you know. Okay, only this one continues. And this actually stays solid. Alright, that should make everything a bit easier. I think. I might actually have... It might be a little funky connecting the end of one joining up with the back of another. But I think I can make it work. Jeez, you got 27,000 views over 3 weeks. You have like a video that's just kind of like popping off, I guess. That's how like my very first video on my channel, it still gets like 150 views like every 2 days. That's how like the analytics work on YouTube or whatever. I'm sure you know that. It gets like 150 views every 2 days. I don't understand how. It's a very old video, and I actually wish people would kind of stop watching it because the build is so outdated in that video. I'm actually kind of embarrassed with how bad it looks. But I don't want to remove it from my channel because that's like the #1 way people find my channel is by stumbling across that video because YouTube recommends it to people because it has like, I guess, 30-some thousand views. So that's how they find my other videos, so I don't want to remove it, but yeah, it's kind of annoying dealing with YouTube's algorithm. Alright, so, okay, I need to strategically place this here. So this row of buildings should end basically at the end of this. Because the new entrance gate that will be back here is basically right dead center with this building where my mouse is. And then the buildings come almost right up to that gate. So I'm gonna move it back a little bit. I think that should be good. Right up to it, just like that. Okay, now this is the part I'm a little worried about. How it should be. That's not too bad, the damage it caused. I can go back and fix that. Guess I'm also gonna have to go back and no, that's actually more work than I want to do. Okay, new change of plan. Okay, well first I need to mark this so I don't forget where this goes. Okay, now I need to get rid of this actually. I put that back. Oh well, it's fine. Okay, I need to do this a little bit different. The annoying part is that the front and back ones are just ever so slightly different. So I need to think about how I want to cut this all up so I can paste it in better. 101 hours of 101 hours of watch time, that's pretty good. Okay. I think I know what I need to do now. Let me just do a small test. Sure I get this right. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this needs to be right up against this. So how bad is that gonna mess it all up? My channel. Oh, thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's hard for me to consider the stuff I make as like quality content, you know, because like the production value is pretty low, but I try to at least make it like decently presentable. So I appreciate you saying that. All right, I can go in and fix this stuff. The main thing I didn't want to have to do was replace this thing every time I pasted it, so as long as I do that, that's okay. No, please tell me I didn't just do that. Oh, son of a bitch. I Control Z'd one too many times, now I gotta go through and... Well, actually, it's not too bad, never mind. Yeah, it's pretty bad. God damn it. Did I mention sometimes I really hate this frickin' mod? Lazy Games, can I make the creepy Willy Wonka statue up front? I don't know what you mean by that. The creepy Willy Wonka from the 2015 movie. Unless you're talking about like A parody? There was no 2015 movie. Or like a musical, if you mean like a musical. That was so annoying. Alright, I need to make sure I didn't just ruin that. If you're if you're talking about like the one with the weird like white glasses, that's the 2005 movie, which is what this build is based off of, yeah. But there's not really a statue out front though. I'm just gonna do this to this one too. Alright, now I think this is good. Hit the wrong button. I know this is probably riveting to watch right now. So I'm being sarcastic. But yeah, this is pretty much how I want it to look. At least, definitely on this side. The wall will continue down this way. There'll be a new gate right here. And yeah, these things in the movie are actually a little bit bigger than this. Meaning like there shouldn't be so many individual little pods, if you want to think of it that way. One of these should probably actually be like 2 of them combined, but I just don't feel like editing them because they're so hard to see in the movie that this is good enough for my purposes. So I just have to go through and fix all of these little anomalies that came up when I copy and pasted it, just because I did it sort of in a not the best way. Alright, I'm glad I got that done. Can get rid of this. Okay, now I can add in the road. That's what started all this, is I wanted to put the road in. The road pretty much comes down from right about where the buildings start. Then they curve into here. Basically, it curves right here. And then both at this point where it ends and down where it begins, it just fades into the snow, very similar to this. So I will do that as well. But yeah. So you have Angela, you got a video coming out where you speak. That's cool. I'll give it a watch when it comes out. So interestingly, even though this is like a loading dock, the road in the picture I'm looking at doesn't go all the way up to these doors. This part's actually still just snow. So I'm gonna do that, at least for now. If I think it looks really stupid, I might just make a change and put it right up against the thing anyway. For some reason, the road cuts in to this part up against the building, but only in this spot for some reason. So I'm gonna do that as well. Guess I don't really need that. So there we go. Okay, now I'm just gonna get rid of these harsh corners. These ones are a lot less noticeable in their roundedness than these ones over here were. I really should have like kept track of what I was doing there. Okay. C2 and then okay, like that. Right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, same thing right here. And right here. Although, yeah. Oh, whoops. No, this one's not right. Now it is. It just makes it look a little bit nicer. Okay, now down here it's kind of like weird. It takes like a very broad curve, but it's also like a very weirdly proportioned curve. So I think I need to cut some of this back a little bit. So I might edit this a little bit because I think it would look stupid in Minecraft if I didn't make it consistent. how do I want to do this? I think actually what I might do is, this isn't like this in the picture, but the gate will be like right here, and in the picture in the movie there's the road isn't plowed, it's still covered with snow like all this is. I don't really think that makes sense. I think I'm gonna just connect it with road. So for now, this is just gonna stay like that, and I'll have to just come back to that later. But down here, I can just do some blending real fast to make it just kind of not look like such a harsh edge. Do a little bit of cobble. There, now, you know, kind of looks like they just kind of stopped plowing the road because they didn't really need to, or whatever the reason is. So, it looks better than just the hard edge. But the rest of it is pretty much plowed, so there's not really another block that I would... Well, I'm not really... I'm thinking about like going through and like just putting in some like random snow like this, which I probably will end up doing. I just don't want to do that right now. I'll do that at another time. But I probably am going to do that. Yeah, the giant metal door. Trust me, Angelo, I'm well aware that there is a door that goes right here. I'm probably not going to do that today, but that will be there. Something I can do though is I can extend the factory wall down to the end of this at least, and it still has to come out just a little bit further to like right here, but that's something that can be done later. We'll do it in sections of 3. Actually, wait, no, I'm not. I'm doing it the old school way with World Edit. I don't have to do that. I can use Axiom because it's faster. It's fine that it hangs out a little bit right here. I have to build like a rectangular sort of building here that kind of comes out this way. And then the gate goes right beside it, so I'll do that another time. But yeah, I just wanted to get that extended. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else small that I can do today. I'm pretty much getting to the end of the stream here. I usually only go for like hour 45, 2 hours, 2.5 max, but the only thing that I really think I want to do is I want to put in like 1 or 2 buildings to fill this space in right here. There's not really anything there in the movie, but I think it looks kind of weird just being empty like this. And then I'm not going to do it today, but I'm going to put in a bunch more train cars on these tracks and these tracks. I might just do that off stream, off camera, because it's kind of boring doing that over and over again. So, but I do think I can put I'm going to put a building in here real fast. And I don't really want to spend the time to build like a custom building, you know? Because it's just not really worth it for the area that's in. So I think what I'm going to do is, let's see. I think I'll take this building, put one of these in there, and then I'm going to put one of the bigger ones in behind it, and then call it a day, and I think that'll look pretty good. So let me just grab that. Yeah, you saw the model all complete. Yeah, there's, I probably have the same, I've probably seen the same pictures you have because they're pretty easy to find if you just Google them, of the whole model. But, to my knowledge, there isn't a picture that shows the back here other than this picture I have on the screen right now. So, but yeah, I mean, at the top of that image, well, I don't know, yeah, at the top of the image you can see the gate. It's just kind of off screen. I have it cropped out, but yeah. So I'm happy with that. So what this does now, it kind of acts as a view block. I think that's all the buildings I'm going to put in this back complex area here. I need to get rid of this. There's no reason I need it floating up here anymore. Real quick, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a pipe that connects all of these together. So let me do that here. It's just going to be one of these smaller ones. Alright, there's that. And lastly, let's see, I'll do something a little bit different. Probably just do some smaller ones again. And these will just be straight. There, so now I have all my buildings in, and they're all connected together by either a pipe of some kind or one of those conveyor belts. Just so it's all one big continuous operation that takes everything and all sends it into one place, so I'm happy with how that's looking. I really do like how that's turning out. So if we go to the front, you can really see how big the whole thing is now if I zoom over the whole thing. Pretty large. And then, yeah, like I said a few times, this same gate will get copied right here. So that's what I mean by gate. But yeah, I think that is pretty much going to do it today. I want to thank everybody for watching and commenting in the chat today. I had a good time, got some good work done. And yeah, like I mentioned earlier, I hope to have the exterior project of this all finished by the end of the weekend, I hope. I do plan to stream again, probably not until Saturday though. It'll probably be Saturday afternoon sometime, but I'll put a post out on my community page on YouTube whenever I determine what time exactly I'll be streaming on Saturday. So yeah, I appreciate everybody watching today, and I'll see you guys next time.